Hello, Facebook Ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Hello, Facebook Ads people. Another podcast today, and let's start right away with the things that we will have to discuss. First of all, about the results. I cannot see any difficulties right now in the accounts. The results seem stable, and I'm having good results across accounts. Another thing is that I have seen again one problem from Meta side. This Saturday, a lot of our accounts stopped spending for a period. Like this one message, and I have several one of those that they say, "Hello, my ad stopped spending 4 hours ago. Anybody with the same issues?" And then below it has answers that more people they had this issue. So this happened on Saturday. So maybe you can go check. About the refunds, about the issue on the 23rd of April, we still have no news, and I believe that we will not have any news soon. It's going to take a very big period of time that this is going to be fixed. In other words, I believe that May started well, and I can see that the accounts are behaving well. I'm not seeing these crazy high CPMs or everything, so I think that we should be fine. And of course, we go to summer. I really like May, June, July. Not so much August, and then we start again on September. So we will see. Now, I will jump straight away to the different things that I want to say, but we have two more topics to discuss, and one main topic, and then we're going to go to our questions. One thing that I was looking here. Okay, so over here we have some scammers that they tried recently to scam some people, and they were running ads from a white tick account, which is this one that says Meta Ads. It has 27k likes and 28k followers. So it would be a little bit strange for Meta Ads to have 28k followers. Anyway, I can see immediately that this is a fake account, but they have also the blue badge, which is a little bit annoying if you think that people like me, we don't have the blue badge and we're applying and they don't give it to us. And these scammers, they have the ways of getting the blue badges, and they're also running ads that they say, notification because of security issues for upcoming users, you can no longer manage ad accounts in the browser, but switch to using a more professional and secure tool, download it here, blah, blah. In order for you to work to be uninterrupted based, please download and use it now. The new manager is packed with new features, and they're able to reach your target audience better and automatically optimize ad better. Whenever you see, there's a stable constant between what scammers are saying, and the first thing that goes immediately is the fact that they're trying to make you do something now, okay? And they're trying to say that if you don't do it, you're going to be destroyed. So we have here the red flags that they say, in order for your work to not be uninterrupted, please download and use it now. And they also say, because of security issues for upcoming users, you can no longer manage ad accounts in the browser. So these are things that they're flagging out. It's a problematic situation. Also, I believe that whenever Meta has to do some changes like this, it's going to send mails. They're going to also put notification messages in the platform, and at the end of the day, for people like me that we talk with several Facebook reps, most probably they're going to send us an email to tell us that we have to do this or that. So this is a total fake thing. Don't download stuff into your PC in order to run Facebook ads. You can still run them on the ads manager, and be careful with that because they're going to hack all of your accounts. Another thing, I have seen this from one of my clients. He brought this to my attention and says it's about branded content ads. It says, a new look. Meta has revitalized branded content ads to paid partnership ads, and with this change comes a few hidden opportunities that you will want to know about. Paid partnership ads promise more diverse collaborations with creators and consumers through user-generated content. With more ad options, your brand has the freedom to select the most engaging content for your audience, blah, blah. And then it says, you can now use the following content whenever your brand is mentioned through one of these features. So hashtag, mentions, product tags, people tag, Instagram collab posts. And then essentially brands can now promote all of this content in the same way that was previously exclusive to branded content ads. So when you go and you create your ads in the ad level, you will be able to see that when you click on select a post, you will be able to see Facebook, Instagram, and then it says branded ads. From my understanding by watching it to several accounts, what I can understand is this, that whenever some of these creators goes and puts hashtags, mentions, product tag, whatever, then you are able to see it there. And in the thing that I haven't seen yet is that do we need to ask for their permission for that? I tried to run one ad, it was running perfectly. It didn't need any permission. So back in the day, not back in the day, maybe some months ago, what you had to do is you had to go to the collab center, then find the influencer, take him there with their account so that you can connect it, and then you will be connected, and then they will have to accept and all of that. It was a process to do it. Now, the only thing that was saying there as a message is that when you try to use this post, it's going to send them a message and say that this brand, blah, blah, it's going to use your post for advertisement reasons. Do you agree? Yes, no. And if they press yes, you can use it. That means that the branded content ads, which means that basically people posting your products to your page and doing it like this, it's going to be easier and it's going to be faster. You don't have to do all of this paperwork, digital paperwork of getting them inside the collab center and all of that, and then start running ads with them. I think this is going to make the process easier, and it's going to make easier the process of having access to UGC content. So it's a very good thing, because it says essentially brands can now promote all of this content in the same way that was previously exclusive to branded content ads. UGC is stronger than ever. Monetizing this UGC continuously generates valuable social proof with a hassle of scanning through reviews or asking consumers for testimonials. It seems even more valuable since the UGC was voluntarily created, don't you think? And then it says that the requirement of obtaining permission to use content in partnership ads remains the same. Advertisements must receive a proposal, I can confirm that, from their collaborators before promoting their content, and we can't stress this enough. And then it has some things to read in order to follow the rules and the guidelines. So I think that this thing is in the right direction, if you ask me, and I think that it's going to help a lot. Okay, now let's go to the main topic for today, and then we will go to your questions and to Freelancer Diaries as always. The main topic for today is, and I get it a lot, so we always talk about consolidation, and you know that as a channel we don't really like consolidation, but why? And for me, April was a really good month that proved why. Now, let's start. What do I mean by consolidation? By consolidation, I mean that Facebook is pushing the concept that if you spend 50K per day, you just can spend all of that in just one campaign, and you don't need to have several campaigns. So there are two objections about that in my mind. First of all, in April, when we had some bad results because of the CPMs and everything, some of my accounts that they were not influenced at all, not even from the 23rd of April, they were not influenced. They were running a lot of, in these accounts it was Advantage Plus campaigns, still consolidation on this side, but it wasn't, let's say, it wasn't just one campaign, but there were several Advantage Plus campaigns. Of course, they were not the same. They were having different creatives, and they were built in a course of a big time. I have these two case studies, the United Kingdom and the United States. I think there are recent videos in the channel, and I will put the links on the description so that you can watch them. So what I realized is that if I had just one campaign spending my 5, 6, 7K per day, or 3K, whatever, then what it would happen is that if this month is very bad, you cannot just do adjustments. For example, let's say that you have 8 campaigns, 9, 10 campaigns, and you have on the other side, you have just one. So in the left case, in the right case, in your screen, what you can do is that you can start lowering the budget immediately on some of the advanced loss campaigns that they're not working well, in order for you to limit your losses and not increasing the budget to the others because it's a tough period, but just leaving the same budget so that they can keep producing the same ROAS that they produce. When you have one campaign, you can do nothing, especially in an advanced plus. What are you doing? You are expecting it to work. Can you add new creatives? No. I'm having a video which is coming, which I explain why you cannot not add new ads. Most probably it's going to be live on Monday. Secondly, do we have other options like lowering the budget? Maybe that's your only option, and what you can do, you can lower your budget in one campaign that it's already not producing the ROAS that you want in the last 7 days, so the tendency is for this campaign to be dropping. And what you're doing is that you're lowering the budget, and if it's going to start giving you good signals again, you can increase the budget. But on the other hand, maybe you can just decrease the budget a little bit on what it doesn't work, increase the budget a little bit on what it works, or keep it the same, and don't drop your spend so much, because if you spend your drop, for example, by 30K, then the next month you're going to enter with a much smaller spending for the month, and maybe you're not going to be able to hit your goals. This is the reason that I don't like the consolidation of a whole account, okay? And as I told you several times, the reason that agencies are doing it, it's because it's easier for them to manage. They are having 50, 60, 70 clients. What is easier, to have several advanced plus campaigns like I do it, or to have just one advanced plus campaign for cold, one campaign for testing, and one campaign for retargeting? Boom. And you have all of this setting like a factory, and you do in across all the ad accounts, instead of actually care about the ad accounts and try to do something better. So in my opinion, doing it in that way, as a consolidation in a whole account, and basically this is what Facebook also proposes, it doesn't make any sense if you want to take the best possible results that you can. But on the other hand, I can tell you that the other thing needs more caring, more managing, and maybe some people don't like it for this reason, or some people, they're just fine and they say, if it's a bad month, I will just lower my spend and I will spend whatever. If it's a good month, I will increase my spend, okay, maybe in the average of the months I will be fine. I'm hearing also that, but on the other hand, there are companies that they just want to keep scaling all the time. So when you're losing your momentum because of a bad month, or you haven't built another account which is strong, which I have seen it recently with one other account that had only one advanced plus with 30, 40 per day. And when the month was very bad, I tried to start doing more campaigns basically in order to stabilize it, but it was a total fail, because I was trying to save an account with more campaigns in a period that was already bad and the account was already struggling. This is something that you need to do in good periods, that you're going to stabilize your account with several Advantage Plus campaigns or several campaigns, whatever is working in your account, so that when the time comes, you're going to be ready for the storm and you're not going to have issues with that. Now that we're discussing about consolidation, I want to close this subject with one more thing. And of course, all of these things that I'm telling to you, you can see it on the different case studies and stuff. This is what I do and this is how I manage ad accounts. But what I want to tell about consolidation is that, don't get me wrong, I have invented the crazy method, and I like to work with the crazy method. Basically, what I'm saying is that, but I'm not also the kind of guy that is going to be, I don't like to consider myself, how do they call that, one trick pony. basically the guy that has invented only one trick. It worked for a period and now he's doing this only because this is the only thing that he knows. No, I'm completely different in terms of my mindset is different. So the crazy method is something that I still use, but I can tell you that it's working very well on smaller accounts and accounts that are not traded already. Another thing that I'm doing on Crazy Method is that while I was doing a lot of ad sets back in the day, many more, now I'm doing less ad sets in my Crazy Method. For example, I had one big ad account that I was working and I was spending in each CBO 5K, 10K, and I was doing 50 ad sets inside Dynamic Creative Ads, 50 ad sets, and now I'm doing just 15. Why? Because I'm seeing the tendency after the Advantage Plus and what Facebook is doing, that we do go to a consolidation period, but we're not there yet. And if we go in a period that consolidation is going to work, you will see me in the channel talk about consolidation. So things are changing with Facebook, and the most important thing for me is to not have my ego and try to understand what is working at any given time. The same way that 1% lookalike stopped working, maybe it's going to start working again later. So the other thing that I want to say about this is that the Crazy Method, I think you need to start using it with less ad sets, first of all. I still don't have the data to back all of this up. This is my feeling, and sadly, these things, I cannot create videos about them, but I can just tell it to podcast. But my feeling is that yes, we need to go to less ad sets, but Crazy Method is still working. The other thing that I want to say is that consolidation in one ad set, it is working. The Advantage Plus is proving that, but I don't believe in just doing only one campaign. I think you should do several campaigns in order to maintain a very good balance between bad and good and have average results, and if something happens, to have options of actually doing something. And the last thing that I want to say about consolidation is that as a strategy, it can work in terms of having only one ad set, but I think that the game is transitioning more to the creatives. And you can have one ad set, whatever, but you need to start working in several creatives in order to convince people from different angles on what they're going to buy or not, and target different hot pockets, or even form different hot pockets because of the creatives. Because most of the times in the consolidation methods, you will go with the targeting of broad as long as you fix your pixel. Now, two more remarks. First of all, whatever Facebook announces, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work in the future. The biggest example is the CBO, that it wasn't working at the start and then it started working, and now everybody uses CBO instead of ABO. The same thing might happen with consolidation. The fact that Facebook talks about consolidation, it doesn't mean that, it means that they're working towards that. This is their philosophy. This is what they are trying to achieve, to have consolidation and this to work so that they can continue having the platform, and the platform is going to produce results and everything. So I think that eventually Facebook is going to win this game, and we're going to run consolidated ads, because this is how they're training the algorithm, and they are thinking that this is where the algorithm should go. So the algorithm is going to follow. So we're also going to follow, because this is the thing that's going to work. And then we are going to not influence the strategies in terms of using the Crazy Method, but we're going to influence the strategies in terms of having a lot of creatives and doing a lot of campaigns in order to maintain balance and stuff across accounts and stuff. Because I don't know if Facebook wants us to run just one campaign and that's it. I think that we need to be a little bit more complex without being too complex. Okay. And I had one more remark which I forgot. Yes. So the smaller accounts are never going to work with the consolidation method. This is a fact. When you're starting a new ad account with a new pixel, at least for now, because if in the trained accounts with the trained pixels, I can tell you that consolidation can work. And you don't need the crazy method, because eventually over there, even when you do the crazy method, you can do less amount of ad sets because you want to start your ads, and maybe the learning phase is going to be more crucial as the time passes by, because right now when you see because when you see now that the training, the learning phase, some ad sets they pass it and some ad sets they don't. In that period, you might see that, okay, one ad set learning phase passed, one ad set it didn't pass the learning phase. Fine. That means that they're going to have different results, and then you check them and you understand that they have completely the same results, or each one of them is better than the other. So you cannot see any major differences between ad sets that they passed the learning phase and ad sets that they didn't pass the learning phase. That being said, maybe later it's going to be crucial. If you don't pass your learning phase, your ads are going to be destroyed. So right now that we don't see these big changes, it doesn't mean that they're not going to happen in the future. But for me, in the crazy method, using less ad sets, it gets you closer to passing the learning phase, which I think that it's becoming more and more important. And I can also see that when I don't run a lot of different ad sets to scatter my budget across, I'm having better results. So I'm running now less ad sets in my crazy method campaigns, but this is my personal, this is also from my friends, that they are observing that we need less ad sets now. That's what I had. And just to close, my previous phrase, in new ad accounts, you're going to need the crazy method, you're going to need the stack lookalikes, you're going to need all of that because your pixel is untrained, and you need this kind of way of working in order to get some results until you are able to consolidate and use one ad sets or whatever, or a big budget in just one campaign in order to get the stable results and try to get an ad set from outside of the learning phase. But in your accounts, most probably you will never get out of the learning phase if you spend 100 per day. And I can tell you that there are accounts that they spend 100 per day and they start now and they are profitable. So this doesn't mean that you cannot start running ads with Facebook. That's all I had about the consolidation and how it works and what you should look. And I hope that it made sense. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. Let's go to your questions now that I have gathered across all of my social media and emails. Questions. Federico, my shop is running out of stock and I'm thinking of suspending for 7 to 10 days the ads. I have one of the ads I have. One of them is running single beginning of March, since working very well. If I do so, switch off and then on, will something change in the logic algorithm, or can I do it without problems? Basically, for 7-10 days, because your attribution setting on the ad set level is on 7 days, you're going to lose all of your data. That means that you're going to start all over again your ads. You can try to turn on, off and see, but there is not going to be any data there, because basically your attribution setting on the bottom that you see on the ad sets, maybe you have to click show more options in order to see it. It's gathering, it says it's the period that is going to gather data and it's going to optimize towards this data. So this is, if this is 7 days, which I propose you to be instead of 1 day, when this is happening, well, you understand that in 7-10 days, even if it has a lot of sales, the sales are going to be gone, and then it's like it's starting from the beginning. So there's no point of starting it like this, just turn it on. Maybe it's going to work, but it's better to duplicate it and run it the next day at 6 a.m. in order for you to be able to use this push that Facebook is giving to the new campaigns, to get some sales, in order to continue getting sales and continue to optimize. So just turning on, off, it's something that I don't do. If you had 4 days, for example, of closing the ads, I would tell you that at least it worth the try to turn it on off, because you will have 3 days of data that it's going to use and maybe it's going to be revived. But since we are talking about 7.10, there's no point of doing that. You just need to duplicate it and start all over again in order to refresh it also a little bit, which is something that we do with relaunches. Next question. Hi, how is May been till now? April last week was slow for me. Yeah, I told you at the beginning of the podcast that May is very good so far. No problems at all. And yes, April was slow also for me and some accounts. Next one. Have you seen different results from a seasoned pixel that is shared with a brand new ad accounts? In theory, the results should be the same, no? In theory, but I can tell you that this is not the case. I have done it several times, to be honest with you, because this is what the logic says. For example, there are several reasons. For example, let's say that we have a pixel. I'm not even going to mention about other countries, which is not working. For example, having a pixel from United States and sharing with the ad account that's running ads for United Kingdom and using the same, it doesn't work very well. But unless it's a beast pixel that just sells everything to everyone. And then what I have seen is that, for example, we had a spending limit on one account on 30K. No, it was 20 or 30K. I think it was 20K pounds, 20K. And we said, okay, let's open a new ad account and let's run the extra budget that we want there, because we were getting very good results, but we wanted to increase our spending limit and this wasn't an option. So what we have done is that we created another ad account, we shared the pixel and we start running ads there. Let me tell you that even with a budget of 500, which was nothing compared to the budget that we had of 20K per day on the other ad account, the results were completely different and we didn't have good results at all. And I believe that the reason is this. From my experience by working with ad accounts, I have realized several times that ad accounts, they also form behaviors. And basically the behaviors that they're forming they're based on what we have done in these ad accounts for a very long period. So if for a very long period we were running only Advantage Plus and then you try to run a CBO campaign, most probably it's not going to work. So you need, when you go to new ad accounts, you need to adapt also to that. And I believe that in a new completely ad account, we don't have any behavior, and the pixel, maybe it's used in a behavior, but even when we do this kind of ads, the ad account is not used in this behavior. Second thing, and for me the most important, Facebook is perceiving advertisers as good or bad advertisers, and is giving them completely different quality of traffic to each one of them, because let's not kid ourselves, Facebook knows very well who's going to buy and when, and this is how they have such a successful platform that people don't even think of leaving, even with this bad customer support that it has, even with things like that happening on 23rd of April. And if Facebook gives 0 refunds to everyone, everybody's going to still advertise, because numbers are numbers, and when you advertise to Facebook, you make money. Well, you are okay of actually let not some, but a lot of big problems, you disappear them. Okay, even when they make your life miserable, like the customer support. So based on this, we know that if you pay your bills in time on Facebook, if you don't have rejected ads, if you never had any penalties, blah blah, all of that, and if you are running for a very long period, let's say that you spend a lot of money in a period of 1 year and stuff, Facebook is considering you a good advertiser. So in your main account, when you are going to run with the pixel that is trained, you're going to have completely different results with a new ad account, that you're not going to get the best quality of traffic, because you are considered a new ad account and a new advertiser, and they don't know what kind of person or advertiser you are, or if you're a good boy or a bad boy. So this is a reason that, and I'm not even talking about different businesses, business managers, when you're selling pixels to other business managers and stuff, because this is also problematic. So just so that we can be clear, yes, it does make sense for the same pixel to work in different accounts, but let me tell you that it doesn't, and I have tested this numerous times when I had spending limits and I couldn't spend more and I wanted more ad accounts. Yeah, that's it. And the problem is that when you have spending limits, you are in a momentum that you want to scale, and you know that if you don't scale now, in the same ad account preferably, you're going to have a huge issue because most probably you won't have this opportunity again for a very long time. Let's go to the next question. After testing it, is there any difference with running normal campaigns that direct people to your website, or you are getting the same results? I must admit that shop and website. Okay, so he's referring to the credit. Remember, I made a video about the credit, and I was saying that Facebook was giving credit for people that they are going to run ads the way that they want, but they are going to just have the option of sending people to website or shop. Because for the shop, to be honest with you, I could see better results. I'm going to make a video about it for one of the fundings that showed that when you use website and shop, because you are having blended ROAS at that point from the shop and from the website, the results are actually better. Sorry, someone was ringing the door. So basically, I was talking about the 10K funding and the website and shop option. And I can tell you that in this ad accounts that I have used it's working very well because it was having blended ROAS from the website and from the shop, which is transactions that are happening within the Facebook. And the thing on that is that I have seen consistently in all ad accounts, in all the testings, I have seen better results, which is something that means that I will start using it also in my other accounts. The second thing that really worries me is that lately Facebook comes up with ideas and they do fundings, except from the AI background that it failed miserably and only the white background images were working, it was another video with funding opportunity. Right now they're right on the spot, when they're proposing something and they fund it, most probably it's working. You all remember the videos from the previous year that we had for the shops that we spent more than 1 million and they were not working. And okay, all of these data maybe they helped a lot in order to make it better. But yeah, website and shop options are working very well right now. And as this friend over here is telling, there is a reason about that. He says, that's good to hear, but the only reason I'm not using shop conversion yet is because Facebook said starting July 1st, they'll start taking 5% in transaction fees for every transaction made through your shop. Lol, that's twice as high as any payment processor on the market law. And starting April 24th, 2024, Facebook and Instagram shop conversions will become mandatory. I can't believe they're really doing this out. You should believe it, because whatever Facebook is doing, they're not doing it just as a non-profit. They are doing it because they need profits out of that. So keep into your mind that there is a reason behind all of that. There is a reason why Apple introduced iOS 14.5, because they wanted to control the data of all of their users. There is always a reason with these big companies on why they're doing this or that. So the only thing that I can do is not to tell you if you're going to do it or not, but to just give you my feedback across account if it's working. And I can tell you that website and shop is working, despite all of my videos talking about shop ads that don't work. Now they have some other crazy ideas like run normal ads and retarget them only for the shop and stuff, which they failed miserably and they're not working very well. And most probably after all of these promos that you are running with 10K promotion, they will tell you that you need to run a retargeting campaign that is going to just target people so that they can go just to the shop. I'm sure about that. This is the same thing that they have done with the other previous promo. So I'm going to do a video showing some stats about this, and you will see it there. Next one, this comment is referring to the previous thing that I was talking about, the blue badge. This is what happens when a platform decides to make additional revenue by selling blue badges. It's not a secret. When the service launches in Australia and New Zealand this week, it will cost $19.99 on web and $24.99 Australian dollars on mobile, or he names some other prices. The higher cost on iOS and Android is likely a way to offset the commission both Apple and Google take on in-app purchases. But I still have no idea how they managed to pass the ad review process. This is true. I don't know how they managed to pass the ad review process and how they got the blue badge. And as I told you, I'm trying to get a blue badge for me, and I cannot, and I have a YouTube channel, I have all of that. I don't know what kind of documentation showed in order to be called as Meta Ads. And sadly, I will have to believe that this is happening from people inside Meta, that they have the power to approve stuff, the same way that there are companies that they are banning accounts because they have people inside Meta. We all heard of these stories. And the same way that there are companies of increasing reviews on bad Facebook pages. I think that Meta is full of bad personnel inside, and and they have to do something about it because they are becoming even more corrupted from the Saddam Hussein's government. I believe that it's going to be huge issues in the next years, and they have to fix it eventually. Let's go to the next one. Hey Konstantinos, I have a problem with Facebook. I still only have a DSL at $50. I have run ads for 2.5 weeks now, and I verified my account back in March 10. I have written to them, I guess, 4 times and asking if I can get a higher budget. DSL, by the way, means daily spending limit. If I can get a higher budget, but I always get the same answer. Run more ads and reach the DSL. I don't know what to do. Even on $50, I have really good ROAS and I just want to scale. I get you. Let me tell you from my personal experience about this. First of all, you will talk in the customer support, blah, blah, they will tell you the same thing. We do nothing about that. 1 year ago, I remember several instances that you talk with the customer support and they were increasing the spending limit. This is not the case anymore. They are not increasing the spending limit. And yes, it's going to be unblocked by the time that you're spending. You will get a better daily spend. The other thing that I can say is that you should not miss a single payment. It's going to be a huge issue because you have to prove that you're a good boy. And the other thing is that the worst case that I have seen, it's 3 months, to be honest with you. I have seen it to other accounts being lifted in 1 month or whatever. Yeah, I think I answered it. Just be patient. Eventually it's going to be solved. Then let's go to the next one. Hi Konstantinos, when would you suggest launching retargeting campaign? How big a certain custom audience should be? Thanks. I would suggest you to run when you're starting. I think that the biggest thing that you should do is that you should try to fix your cold funnel, because if you don't have a cold funnel working, there is no point of being proud about your retargeting, because most probably it's cannibalizing another effort that you're doing. And yes, okay, if you want to have your major spend with another way, influencer marketing, whatever, and then you just do a small retarget to Facebook just so that you can retarget them also, they're fine by me. But if you want to actually scale with Facebook, you need to fix your cold traffic. So when you're starting as a startup, you're starting, and I'm understanding from the way that you're writing the question that basically you're starting now. So you're asking how big an audience can be and stuff. It doesn't matter if you have small traffic or big traffic. What you are going to do is that at the start you're going to try cold. Whenever you see that you have some success with cold for a period, then you will run also retargeting, and you will see if you can maintain it with a small spend. It doesn't have to be anything big. You need to see if you're able to maintain it, and you need to see if it doesn't work, you close it. If it's working, you keep it. If it has high frequency, you don't scale it. If it works and has small frequency, you are scaling it a little bit. So this is the thing, and you should test it always. Try to test: is my retargeting going to work? No. Okay, I'm going to close it. I'm going to fix more my cold traffic and then do it. Of course, because it's going to be a very small budget at the beginning, you can leave it for 7 days as a retargeting, and don't forget that you should not evaluate it based on the CPMs, cost and stuff and everything, but only on ROAS, because retargeting, it's like retargeting in a completely different audience. So the cost per click can be $8, for example, and the ROAS good. And in your cold traffic ad, you need to have 1.5 cost per click. So it's completely different, okay? The metrics don't matter so much there, just the ROAS. ROAS is also a metric, but you know what I mean. Let's go to the next question. We have Tony over here. The reason that I put this is because he reminded me on a video. So this video, it's how to target a single person with Facebook ads. And it was a very interesting video because it comes from a theory that, let's say that you want to target the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk. What you can do is that you have his email, that he's using, the email that he's using for his Facebook account. And what you can do is you can go and you can upload a list of 900 of 1000 emails, which are going to include also the email of Elon Musk inside. And the 999 mails are going to be women. And this only email is going to be the Elon Musk. It's going to be, but they have to be valid also, because you need to have at least 1000 mails for a list to be uploaded. At least this is how it used to be. And when you do that, then you go to your ad and you put the list, but this time instead of targeting women, you just target men. And this was the way to target just one person. It's just a very interesting way of thinking. And this guy says, this used to work great in Twitter too. Unfortunately, it doesn't work any longer. So this is just an old video, and it's just a very good subject to talk about, but nobody is going to do it like this. Now, let's go. But it's very interesting, isn't it? Next question. Konstantinos, I've generated around 100 sales already using 5 to 10 million audiences. My CTR is over 6% and I'm very profitable so far. Would you recommend wide open targeting in my case, meaning no interest at all? The total size would be around 40 million United Kingdom, thanks. If you are having very good success with 5 to 10 million audiences, I would suggest broad targeting if you're having such good results, but I would break down a little bit the results in terms of age, in terms of gender and stuff, and see if I can limit even more the 40 million. So do broad targeting, but seeing also if with the breakdown of results I can limit the ages also to what is working very well. If you cannot do that and you're having sales across, of course I would test broad targeting, and you should always test broad targeting, because the moment that it's going to start working, this is the moment that you will start seriously scaling. And of course you can also try Advantage Plus here, because I think that it's going to help you, and it's also broad targeting. Yeah, that's it. Next one. Hey, great video. When you have a good performing optimized Advantage Plus campaign with history, 3+ months, and you get new creatives, do you add new creatives to the existing Advantage Plus or start a new Advantage Plus campaign? No, you don't add, because the budget is already distributed there. And I have seen that I replied to your question, and you replied back that this is what you also see, that when you put new ads, they don't take any budget at all. Advantage Plus, as we explained, is a consolidation method that is working with a leading ad. It has a very strong attraction to one leading ad. So when this leading ad is spending the majority of the budget, it doesn't make any sense for you to add something new. I have a new video which is coming about that. Most probably, I believe it's going to be on Monday, and it's going to explain it further. But no, don't do it, because it's not going to be tested efficiently. How would you explain to the client that, oh, this is about the case study, I want you to talk about that. So in the case studies that I put for United Kingdom and United States, he or she, I think it's he's saying something. How would you explain to the client that you spent more in March but made less than February, and April looks to be heading that way again. You're scaling spend but justifying by banking on future results. So when you're scaling accounts, the ROAS are dropping most of the times. So this is completely, it's about the relationship that you have with the client. So there are clients that they're going to come and tell you, but we spent more money and we made the same money. This is one case. The second case is somebody which is going to come and tell you, but we spent more money, but we didn't increase the ROAS. This is the type of guys that they don't know about business and e-commerce and how it works. So there are completely different cases, and here we have a client that says, as long as you're hitting 4 ROAS, keep scaling. I don't care. Because they do understand e-commerce, and whoever doesn't understand this, they should not do e-commerce, especially in this kind of numbers. What does this mean? This company is doing around 3 or 4 million. When I came to their account, they had 14 ROAS, for example, and they were doing 1 million. But now every month they do 3.5, 4 million. Because we have scaled. Every month, even when we spend some money, it's not like we are only getting the sales from the Facebook ads, but we also get repeated customers. We expand our email list. We have better offers with the distributors. We have also better prices because we are ordering more stocks and so on. So you have to understand that e-commerce it's all about growing. It's about the growth. It's not about the numbers that you see in a month per month, but it's about the numbers that you're going to eventually get because of that growth. Whoever doesn't understand that, and I know that there are a lot of people that they don't, they should not do e-commerce. And they're going to hurt their business if they don't. And whoever is making your life miserable because of that, just don't care about scaling their account. Just stay where they want to be with the ROAS that they want, and that's it. Because you cannot have both in life, okay? And I want to be super thin, but I like food. You cannot have both in life. So that's it about it. I hope that it makes sense. These people are extremely happy because I'm scaling their accounts and they can see the long-term benefits of that, and they have already seen it, by the way. Next one. Hey Konstantinos, I've noticed one pattern on my ads. I love patterns. Right when I launch them, they're profitable for the first 2-3 days, even though CPC and CPM are not the best. After 3 days, CPM and CPC decrease, but the conversion rate drops. Why would this happen? Does Facebook start sending me lower quality traffic for some reason? Thanks. So based on other discussions that I had with Paulius, I understand that he's not having a trained pixel from some of our discussions. Let me tell you what I believe that's happening. When we were discussing earlier about the ad accounts and no, not about the ad accounts, about one comment that it was saying if you have to close the ads, and I told them to relaunch. I told you that in the first 24-48 hours, Facebook is giving you the best quality traffic so that you can get your initial sales, and then it's going to say, okay, this sale came, let's find another one, another one, another one. These sales, on these sales, the pixel is helping a little bit. So the better the pixel is, the better start you're going to have, but it's not necessary. After these 2 days, Facebook is going to give this good attention to other new campaigns. Yours, someone else, new campaigns, whatever. And then it's up to your pixel, if it's strong enough, to continue optimize with this initial sales that it got. This is something that everybody is seeing on their ad accounts and on their ads, that the first days are good and then it's dropping. This is also a sign of a pixel that is not ready yet to do the heavy lifting of continuing the optimization. So in my opinion, this is super normal and it happens all the time. And you should keep trying like this. On the other hand, let me tell you that if you pretend to be very smart and just relaunch the same campaign every day, Facebook understands also that and it's not going to give you results every day. So try to do it in a normal way and try to do it again. Eventually your pixel is going to have enough data to continue optimizing like this. For me, the most important thing at the start of a new ad account is not the sales, but the consistency. For example, am I having 1 sale per day with my pixel? This is the most important thing, not the ROAS that I'm getting from that, because that means that my pixel is getting trained to the specific niche. And if the numbers are not adding up and I'm not profitable, that means that I need to start working on my numbers, landing page, but when I have consistent sales with a specific ROAS, that means that this is the ROAS that Facebook is giving me at the given time with this pixel. And okay, the pixel can improve by time and it's going to improve my results a little bit. But if I'm far away from my target, I need to understand that this is not going to be profitable for me, and I need to start working towards the direction of fixing my funnel prices or my numbers as a company in order to be able to advertise on Facebook. So fixing your pixel, it is important, but it's not the only important thing. And fixing your pixel is going to help you have consistency, but after that you need to see also if your numbers make sense. But I know that you're already profitable from our discussions. Next one from the same guy. Basically this whole page instead, except from Nikolai, it's from this guy. I see, thanks for the depth response. What would be considered a season pixel for one product store in a country like UK? It sounded like he was listening to me and he just replied, but I reply also in the comments because I feel it would be a little bit unethical from my end to tell you what's the podcast, and so I'm trying also to reply as out of respect for watching my videos and stuff, but I also try to give bigger and better answers in the podcast. A season pixel is the pixel that's going to have the behavior that I mentioned to you earlier. And it's not going to stop working. You're going to be able to do broad targeting without having issues and all of that. Season pixels mean a season pixel means stability, that it's not going to just give you some good results and then stop. So this is how you see it by time. Next question, Nikolai. Hello guys, we were running a sales campaign and it was actually working very well, but at some point it stopped with no results. Has anyone had experience with reborning and working campaign? We're trying the Konstantinos method with relaunching, but any recommendations would be appreciated. No, this is a strategy. You cannot just do something if it stopped working, unless if you are spending $500 and you lower the budget to $300 so that you can slow it down in ABO campaigns or whatever. But this is not working most of the times. And define stopped working in terms it stopped working with no results. So if you have 0 results, you can do nothing. You should not even drop the budget. Just go immediately and relaunch the campaign. And from everything that we discussed earlier about the starting days and everything, it should be refreshed. I have also videos explaining about the relaunches, that you should not reinvent the wheel and everything, and you should do relaunches. Next question. Konstantinos, if you launch, let's say 100 per day CBO, for how long you have to run it to make a conclusion that is not profitable? For example, turn it off after one full day if you have 0 sales, or turn it off after half spent if you have 0 add to carts, etc. As I have a feeling, I sometimes turn off certain campaigns too early. So it really depends on the feeling that you get on each ad account. There are ad accounts for me that they have average order value of $2,000, for example, where you need to keep them for a longer period because one sale can bring you insanely high ROAS. On the other hand, there are other ad accounts that in 2 days, to be honest with you, I don't close campaigns on first day unless if I see crazy stuff like crazy, not CPMs, crazy cost per clicks and stuff, 0 to cards or something. The thing that I like to do is that I like to see its different ad account in a completely different mindset by just watching and observing how they behave for different campaigns that I do. So then you get a feeling of when one campaign is going to work or not. For me, the decision, except from exceptional cases, as I said, it's not going to be taken. I will let it spend for 2 days before. Some people let it spend for 7 days because but in my opinion, it's a waste of time to give it another 5 days. In 2 days, if I see 0 sales, most probably I will close an adset or something and liberate the budget somewhere else. But I will, because of the fact that we said about the 2 days being the best ones, So I would take this kind of decisions and try something else maybe. And yes, you might be closing things too early and stuff, but this is things that everybody has done when they started doing Facebook ads and other accounts. Then he asks me, in 2023, what tends to perform better for you personally, interests or lookalikes? Both are working very well. It really depends on the accounts and how seasoned the pixels are. What is working better for me, to be honest with you, is broad targeting on seasoned pixels, but they are seasoned pixels. So you should test everything. Whatever we are teaching in this channel, you should test it and maybe something is going to work. Konstantinos Kocha, when launching ads in the asset level, I also sometimes see a message that says, based on how you set up your pixel, blah, 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 you might not get any purchases. Is this concerning? Is this something that I should be concerned about? As this ad set still generates sales. Sorry, but after 1 hour I got tired of reading. This is why I make these mistakes. You should ignore all of these messages, okay? Don't take them seriously. That's all with your questions. Let's go to my freelancer diaries here. I have two special things here. It says Facebook ad campaign expert wanted. Need an expert to create Facebook ad campaigns that include a marketing funnel. Needs to be experienced with setting up pixels and additional appropriate header content to my website in order to make it functional. All good to know. Would also like retargeting component to the ad. My goal is to have something. This is why I put it. My goal is to have something I can turn on whenever I need more leads and turn off when I do not. So he wants something like a faucet of leads that he is going to turn on and off. Whenever he doesn't have a job, he turns it on. He gets 2 leads and stuff, then he closes and stuff. Sadly, it doesn't work like this. And you cannot have whatever you want in life whenever you want it. You need to find a way of actually having a trained campaign that's going to produce. Why don't you run it, for example, with a small budget, so that it's going to be easily manageable for you? You just try to optimize a situation that you just or another thing that you can do maybe as an idea. There are some people that they are selling leads. For example, they tell you that whenever you want, I'm going to give you 10 leads for this and that. You should not run your own ads, in my opinion, if you're having this. But the thing that I'm closing the campaign because I'm opening the campaign, then I need more leads and stuff, it's not happening. Go and buy leads from somebody else who's doing this and he's selling all of his leads and he can afford it. And we go to the last one, just to close the podcast. I was laughing with this one because, I don't know, of course, what happened. But here we have one job that started on July 2015 to June 2021. We have 12,625 hours that were for this job, and somebody who billed 107K, 108K almost. And he says on the review, 6 years of loyalty flushed down to the gutter. Think twice before you start working with, and it has the name, he has the full name actually, which we're going to blur. He has the full name of this, it's a woman. And I'm thinking, you took 108K in the course of 6 years and stuff. You work with them. Why do you talk about loyalty? You were doing a job. You were employed. She was asking you the job. Obviously, working 6 years, it's not like she was mistreating you or you were having huge issues with that. So why? Because she fired you? Because she moved on? Because she had to do something else? Because she didn't like your services anymore or whatever? Guys, we're doing works with people, and I always like to have a very good relationship with all of my clients. You will never see me arguing with anyone. The point here is to understand that you're not going to always be useful to someone. things are changing and their businesses are changed and everything. Just because you have been used your service and everything was going well for 6 years, it doesn't mean that you will have to take your pension out of this company. Of course, as I said, I don't know the full story about it, but what I know is that some people, they just get emotional. Maybe he's afraid because he says, I was getting X amount of money, now I'm not going to get, and he gets angry to that. But things are changing, and if you're a freelancer, you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with the uncertainty. When you are starting your own business and you're a freelancer, you're just getting married with uncertainty. You don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. Maybe you're going to be destroyed and you're not going to have any leads anymore. But I should not say these kind of things because it stresses my personnel who thinks that I'm going to fire them. No. With us, everything is going well and nothing is going to happen. But you have to be okay with the possibility of everything stopping, and you need to have the mindset, even if it stops, I'm going to do something else. So I don't understand all of this drama about 6 years of loyalty last down to the gutter. Okay, so that's all I had for you guys. And I hope you like the podcast today. We discussed some very serious and some very interesting topics. And I will see you in the next podcast next week. The next week we have the elections in Greece, actually. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we'll do a podcast. I will see you the next week in the podcast. Bye. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.